Henry Ford once said, "It is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning." So that brings in the question, how does our banking and monetary system work? And in fact, who actually controls our banking and monetary system? Well, that's a great question. Most people believe that it's the federal government that regulates and controls our banking and monetary and currency system. But unfortunately, that's just not the case. The government doesn't actually control it. So who actually does, right? Who is actually in charge and controls our banking and monetary system in this country? And the bottom line is all of it is controlled by a private central bank. And here in the United States, this private central bank is called the Federal Reserve. And if you're here today and you've ever wondered why income inequality is running rampant and most people in this world are broke or buried in massive debt, it is probably because of the policies implemented by this private central bank. Now, most people have heard of the Federal Reserve, again, commonly referred to as the Fed. Most people have heard of it. But what is the Fed? Right? What does it actually do? Who created the Federal Reserve and why? And more importantly, how did a privately owned bank with shareholders gain control of our country's banking and monetary system in the first place? The decisions that this powerful private bank makes impacts you, your family, and everyone you've ever known. So during this exclusive training, you're going to become one of the informed few that understands how this country's banking and monetary system works as we literally pull back the curtain on the Federal Reserve, a century of economic enslavement. Hey everyone, it's Mike Adams, and on this channel we empower individuals to achieve freedom through improved financial literacy and business ownership. If you're new to the channel, make sure to click subscribe, click the bell so that way you get notified on any and all of our future content. And the reason I wanted to make this video is that there are so many people out there that are broke, they're buried in debt, and they really want to achieve more. They want to achieve financial freedom, they want to be able to build a legacy for their family. Most people can feel that there's something wrong with our economic system, but they just can't quite put their finger on it. And so my goal in creating this video and this video series is to, in fact, pull back the curtain and really break this thing down step by step, so that way you can become one of the informed few that actually understands how this economic system works and how our modern banking system impacts you, your family, and everyone that you've ever known. And my goal is that after you review all this information, you'll be able to make better and informed decisions for yourself and for your family's financial future. So in this video series, we're going to be pulling back the curtain on the Federal Reserve. We're going to discuss the history of central banking. Okay, we're also going to break down who actually created the Federal Reserve. Again, this is a private central bank with shareholders. So who actually created this private central bank? And we're also going to discuss how does this private central bank control our money supply and our currency supply. And we're also going to lay out in detail how powerful the Federal Reserve actually is. So you may be thinking, Mike, why is this so important? Quote, some people think the Federal Reserve banks are United States government institutions. They are private credit monopolies which prey upon the people of the United States for the benefit of themselves and their foreign customers. That's why this is so important. So let's quickly dive into the history of central banking so you can understand this concept of what is a central bank. And this concept goes all the way back to the 1600s. And after 50 years of war, financially exhausted, the English government needed loans to fund their political activities. And it was Scottish banker William Paterson who came up with this idea. Quote, the bank hath benefit of interest on all monies which it creates out of nothing. So this idea that a private central bank that could create currency out of nothing and charge interest for it was deemed the solution for the English government. And from there, William Paterson made a deal with the English government. And from there, he was able to create a loan. And from that loan, he was also able to get those special powers to be able to create and print the currency of the nation. And from there, the Bank of England was established. And again, this is way back in 1694. So the Bank of England was the world's first central bank. And through this privately owned bank, William Patterson was able to issue and loan money it creates from thin air to the English government with interest. And it has been doing so ever since. So what is a central bank? A central bank is a private entity that manages a government's money supply and can lend money it creates from thin air to the government at interest. Okay? And that interest point, that is the key to this whole equation. Because it's because of this interest charge that everybody else in the world has to pay interest. You see, central banking is more influential than laws, politicians, or even governments. But yet it's not the focus of the general public. So here in the United States, our central bank is called the Federal Reserve. So how was it created? And who actually created the Federal Reserve private bank here in the United States? Well, we are going to discuss that in the next video.